Welcome to the Electric Playground. Today on the show, life gets very, very strange in the rundown. And then Scott drops in to give us solo reviews of two new movies, Black Mass and The Martian.
Surprise.
Also coming up, we tell you what we think of Sicario. Jose becomes a happy home designer with the latest Animal Crossing game, and much more today on EP Daily. Brought to you by EB Games. I'm your host, Victor Lucas, bringing you the latest in everything cool every single day. Tuck in your shirt and straighten your tie because things are about to get a whole lot more elite with the rundown. Here we go. October has begun, and the episodic game Life is Strange is about to come to an epic conclusion. The fifth and final chapter in the temporal bending game will land October 20th, almost 10 months after the first episode launched. Like other episodic games, decisions you've made in previous chapters will carry over and impact the way things unfold in the finale. Life is Strange focuses on a teenage girl named Maxine who discovers that she has the ability to rewind time and alter the past, sometimes with unexpected consequences. Make sure you watch our review of the first 4 episodes on EPN.TV.
That was beyond epic fail.
Xbox gamers have something new to add to their holiday wish list. Microsoft has revealed that the fancy new Xbox One Elite controller will be available starting October 27th. The controller is promised to feature many improvements, including more sensitive hair triggers, a redesigned D-pad for more reliable combo execution, and a customizable layout with interchangeable paddles. Hopefully all that will be worth the $150 price tag. The Elite controller will be available by itself and will also come in the new Xbox One Elite bundle with a new version of the console that includes a 1 terabyte solid-state drive. That hits stores a week later on November 3rd. Here to help me cut through the hype about expensive game controllers and episodic gaming is my pal and yours, Marissa Roberto.
Oh, hi, friend.
What did you think of the success of Life is Strange? They're wrapping it up finally this month.
Listen, I'm always excited when a video game who has a strong female character is a success. I think that speaks huge to the video game industry and where we've been going for a while now. And I don't know if this was expected to be the success that it was.
And that's the beauty of episodic gaming is you can be a little bit more risk-taking. And Square Enix, I think, to their credit, saw that this was an opportunity to test the mechanism, but also, reach for some great storytelling in video games. But we're also seeing that the pitfall of this is waiting for these things to come out, with real anticipation, and the difficulty of carrying over all of that technology and all those choices and keeping a game development team sort of intact through the whole progression of all this stuff.
Right.
So kudos to the team behind Life is Strange, man.
Yeah.
I think they've really accomplished something.
No kidding. I'll dive in the second it comes out all at once.
Yes, big win. And patience will also pay off if you haven't bought an Xbox One yet, because you have the opportunity to get this new Elite box on November 3rd with the new controller and a 1 terabyte system. $150 for a controller is a steep price, but I think what's happening now is with more and more of these competitions happening that are, drawing more and more people to these competitive games, that's who this is made for. Those people that are going to go and train basically to join leagues and, potentially go into esport, they're going to want a precision controller. And it makes a lot of sense for Microsoft to get into this space.
For sure. It's not for the casual gamer at all. Like, if you're going to invest in this, clearly you have invested a lot of your life into gaming, and so that is why you would want to pick this up.
Maybe what happens is the Microsoft tests the water with it, it's a success, and then this becomes the de facto new controller.
New one,
but, my guess is that they spent a lot to make this, just like they spent a lot to make the original Xbox One controller, and they got to recoup it.
If anybody wants to do little tradesies with their brand new Elite Xbox, I got a really nice shiny OG Xbox One, and I'll throw in some baked goods.
A day one edition and some baked goods. All right, cool. Well, one thing you might want that Elite controller for is Gears of War 4, which is coming out next year. Marissa caught up with Rod Ferguson. Take a look.
Looks like it went this way. Come on.
What can you tell us? Is it going to remain Gears 4? Do you have a secret name for it? Like Gears 4, the Coalition.
Yes, exactly. The Coalition joint. No, it's basically the game will be called Gears of War 4. We're letting people know that the woman's name is Kate. So it's Kate and JD are the two characters. We want people to speculate, like, where is it? When is it? Who is it? That's the kind of questions we want.
There!
It's on the move!
After it!
How would you describe Gears 4 without giving anything away?
We listened to our fans who said, what do you want for the next Gears of War game? And they said, what we want to do is go back. When you played Gears 1, there was a tension because there was a mystery. Who are the locusts? What are these monsters? What are they capable of? But after you do 2 and then you do 3, you're like, became like a World War II game where you're just shooting soldiers. You knew what they could do. You knew how to kill them. They were just cannon fodder in a way. So we wanted to bring that darkness, mysterious, and tension, that sort of Nightmare feel, the Nightmare Reborn feel back to Gears of War.
Jumping into Gears 4, am I going to be able to jump in without knowing any of the other story? Is there going to be like a recap for me, or can I jump in with these characters fresh?
The way that we like to think about Gears of War 4 is a new beginning. Where it goes and how it ends, that's to be decided, but it really is a new beginning now. So I don't think you have to know what's going on, but who's to say when it is? It may be before what we're doing. We might be pulling like a Star Wars thing on you. You don't know that. Who's to say what it is?
I don't know, but I feel like you should tell me because you're Canadian and I'm Canadian. We should talk about this together.
Secret handshake, Canada handshake.
Okay, we'll do it off camera. Could use some help here.
Gears of War 4 comes out next year, so hang on to your hats. But I'm really proud that Rod Ferguson and the whole Gears of War team are all based in Vancouver. That's so amazing.
He's a pretty cool Canadian dude.
Yes.
Listen, don't go anywhere because after the break, we've got Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer. Yes, we've gone from Gears of War to Happy Home. We can do that on this.
My name is Palmer Lucky. I'm the founder of Oculus and designer of the Rift virtual reality headset that we're showing here at E3. My favorite Star Wars memory was seeing the 3D re-release of Episode 1. I was there, opening night, in the theater, and I was watching with a crowd of hardcore Star Wars fans. And then I remember the words on screen. He has an exceptionally high midichlorian count.
The reading is off the chart. Over 20,000.
Even Master Yoda doesn't have a midichlorian count that high.
No Jedi has.
And everyone in the theater said, "Ah!" It was beautiful, and we were all feeling it in solidarity there.
Of course, Palmer Lucky is a Star Wars fan. How do you create the Oculus Rift without being a Star Wars fan,
I don't think you can. I don't even think that's allowed.
No.
We have to go now to something a little different. It's Scott C. Jones reviewing a movie on his own, and I'm a little concerned because there is no one there to argue with him. Here's Scott with Black Mass.
Went to the movies by myself once again to see the latest Johnny Depp picture. It's called Black Mass. It is based on the life story of a gangster known as James Whitey Bulger.
To success, just getting started.
He haunted the Boston and Northeast area for many, many years. And we understand as the picture unfolds how he was able to haunt Boston for so long. He holds up in a neighborhood called Southie in Boston. I'm a big fan of Boston. I'm from the East Coast originally, so I know the city. And I feel like the movie does a pretty good job of kind of capturing the essence of Boston, especially working class Boston. This is another movie very similar to The Martian in the sense that there are so many players on the sidelines here who just feel like they're waiting to get into the game like a football player, and they never quite get to. They never quite get to execute and do what they do at their best. We've got Kevin Bacon, who has a very small role here. We've got Joel Edgerton, who has a little bit of a bigger role. And we've got Benedict Cumberbatch, who is pretty much terrific at everything he does. He plays Whitey Bulger's brother, who's a senator.
Your brother. He's wading into some very dark waters. We all need friends. Even Jimmy. Even you.
There's a lot of interesting things that happen here, and seeing Johnny Depp play this character who's bald with a receding hairline with these incredibly piercing blue eyes. I mean, he looks like a demon. He looks like he's looking to drink the blood of all the people in this movie. And, you know, you kind of are rooting for him. You're very convinced by the performance that Johnny Depp gives.
Take the money, keep your mouth shut about what you just heard. It's best you're not involved. Take the money, take the money, take the money.
I think Joel Edgerton is also very strong in this movie. Not a lot of women, not a lot of female characters here, not a lot for them to do. And I don't think this is a great gangster picture. I mean, I think it's hamstrung by the fact that it's a true story. And if you want to see more of a mythological take on Boston and on Whitey Bulger, see Martin Scorsese's The Departed. But this is pretty good. This is from director Scott Cooper.
Look at his face.
I think it's worth seeing, and I think it's a fairly decent way to spend a Friday night in a movie theater. I'm going to give Black Mass a 7 out of 10.
Good job, Mr. Jones. Looking forward to seeing Black Mass when we get home.
Yeah, that's in the queue for me as well, but we have to go to Jose now. He snaked another interview from me. I'm gonna get you, Jose. I know where you live. Here's Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer.
Welcome to Nook's Homes, a place where you help villagers create the perfect spaces to call home.
Well, I know there's somebody in the office that is super excited to find out more about Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer. Tell me a little bit about what we're going to be doing, because it seems like the Animal Crossing games, you're kind of building the world out yourself anyway. How is Home Designer or Happy Home Designer going to make that different?
Happy Home Designer is a little bit different in the way where instead of being the villager and just sit and get to know other characters by like doing good things for them or doing favors, collecting bugs, this is a bit different. You're actually with the home designer group, which consists of, remember Digby? He kind of controlled all the homes and stuff, so it was him. You'll be working a little bit with Tom Nook as well, and you're going to be designing the homes and looks of the neighbors and the other animals that you're going to be near, or if it's going to be redesigning, let's say, the facade of a school, and then redesigning the interior of the school. That's what it is, right? You're a home designer. You're really taking it and you can put your creative spin on things and see how other people decorate and get to know the characters that way. You never know. You know, if someone may ask, like, I really want a music room, and then you're going to be like, all right, they'll give you some pieces like a piano or a music stand, and then you'll have to fill out the rest and do the best you can. If they do that like that, they'll love it, and then they'll be like, oh my gosh, I want to recommend you to this person. They need something else. Like, oh, I'm into sports. I totally want to do that. Or I'm into lifting. I'm like, okay. And so you would, you know, make a gym or something. There's so much creative fun that you can have with this, where I think it'll be really surprising for people that are longtime fans, but also the people that have never played an Animal Crossing game before. This is a great way to get to know the world and know the characters and have a lot of fun.
Now, is it going to have that same experience where, like in Animal Crossing, the game itself, where you're walking around and you're running into other people's villages? Are other people going to come in and check out my work and be jealous of how awesome I am at Happy Home Designing?
You know, there is something called the Happy Home Network. And the way the Happy Home Network is, let's just say that you want your work for someone else to be jealous of, right? Yeah, what you could do is you can upload whatever creation it is and put that on the Happy Home Network so other people can see it. And so if someone's asking for, let's say, I don't know, a school or something, if they were looking at a room, you could see what kind of crazy rooms that people came up with for school. Some people will create science labs, other people can create a library, other ones will create a dungeon theme or something. That's fine too. It's really all up to you.
I have to apologize to those of you out there waiting for our review of Happy Home Designer. That's completely my fault. We're on the road, and the game came in, and I refuse to let any other team review the game.
We'll be reviewing it soon.
Great.
And stick around when we come back. Scott reviews The Martian, again, on his own.
Aww.
I am the greatest botanist on this planet.
Welcome back to EP Daily and our walking tour of Stockholm, Sweden.
Yes, I have been enjoying my time here with you, but because both of us are here, Scott Jones is alone in Vancouver.
Right.
Poor Scott, going to see movies all by his lonesome. He went to another one. This one I'm actually really jealous of. This is The Martian.
I went to the movies recently to see the latest Ridley Scott picture. It's called The Martian. Yes, I saw this by myself while Vic and Marissa are traveling all over Europe.
You ready?
Ready! The Martian, of course, stars Matt Damon as an astronaut who gets abandoned inadvertently on Mars. It's based on a best-selling book and basically, I think, follows the same plot as the book. He gets separated from his crew at the very start, and then he has to kind of make his way and survive the only way he can as a botanist, as a scientist, by using science to solve all kinds of complicated problems.
I am the greatest botanist on this planet.
Back on the ground, we've got Jeff Daniels, who plays the head of NASA. He's in charge of everything, but he's got lots of minions around him, lots of actors in this movie. We see Sean Bean, who we've seen in better roles with more things to do. We see Kristen Wiig, who in my opinion, I love her, but she doesn't belong in this movie at all. She's a complete distraction. And of course, we also have a third kind of subplot with the crew that abandoned Matt Damon on Mars. They're flying through space, trying to figure out what to do.
Houston, be advised. We've got a video message. It's directed to the the whole crew. Play it.
The end, I thought, was pretty gripping, pretty tense, filled with lots of very interesting space shots, lots of special effects, lots of huge ships that are kind of floating around in space. And they go for a long shot. Like, they try to do something that seems really impractical, really impossible. And whether or not they pull it off, you have to see and find out for yourself. But Matt Damon is starring in this, so you can probably figure out what happens.
Surprise.
I like Matt Damon a lot. I've always been a fan of his since his Good Will Hunting days. And I feel like the story of a guy who's by himself in space trying to solve problems, that's something I can identify with. I spend a lot of time alone. I live by myself. All he's missing are the 2 cats. But I feel like there are lots of interesting things here. It's a very lonely movie. It's not a very sentimental movie. There's no love, no nudity, no sex, no real human connection other than the connection between the people who are in space together, the astronauts.
I hope you enjoyed your tour of the Hermes and see what a stellar crew we have. Say goodbye, crew. Goodbye, crew. Everyone's a comedian.
Overall, I thought it was a pretty good picture. Not Ridley Scott's best picture, pretty far from it, but I think it's still a decent night at the movies. I'm going to give The Martian a 6 out of 10.
Thanks, buddy. Still want to see The Martian, though, big time. Another movie that we've been dying to see, Sicario.
Wait.
Get out of the car.
We did see it. What did you think, my friend?
We've been seeing a lot of drug cartel
Well,
happening.
currently, yes.
Especially with the show Narcos. Colombian drug cartel. Now we're in Juarez, in Sicario. And we're not just there, we're also in the States as well. But this movie was really interesting because it doesn't really show us a lot of action. It mostly shows us the things that happen before the action and after the action, which is really interesting. And I think it plays really well with the story and the emotion of the story.
What I think is so amazing about this movie is that it's framed like a horror movie in a way, you know? I mean, there's a real sense of impending dread and doom, and the soundtrack cut against Denis Villeneuve's imagery is absolutely chilling. You're constantly on the edge of your seat when you're watching this thing.
It's true, yeah. The soundtrack is fantastic. The acting, of course, is so on point. These are A-grade actors that we're seeing here.
Do we get an opportunity of the men responsible for today?
Men who are really responsible for today.
It's just so funny because every time I see Josh Brolin now, when I see him chewing gum, I'm like, Josh, like, just spit it out, man. Spit out the gum.
But
we get it.
It's his character, though.
Yeah,
He plays a consultant to the feds, basically. He doesn't really reveal who he is. There are a lot of complicated little twists and turns throughout this. You don't know who to trust.
No, we don't know if he's CIA or DA or FBI. Like, you don't really ever know.
You saw things you shouldn't have seen.
The thing that I really like is from the perspective of Emily Blunt's character, who we now are starting to see as this really confident heroine on screen. She was amazing in Edge of Tomorrow, but now she is playing somebody with a lot of skills and a lot of respect within her agency, but she's like this timid neophyte when she enters the grotesqueries of what's really happening on the streets of Juarez.
Get your service weapon out.
It's true because she's being thrown into a situation that she's unsure of. She doesn't really know what's happening. Nobody's giving her any information at all. And so we, as the audience members, are really along for the ride with her because we're introduced to her character right at the top. So you feel like you need to attach yourself to her. So you feel her frustration. You feel her angst towards these people that she's having to work with, like Josh Brolin and Benicio del Toro.
Yeah, and she's just so angry and so confused, and it's confusing, I think, for the audience as well, because we want to see some good people.
No. Compas. Suelta la pistola.
I think we have to give a special nod and a shout out to Benicio del Toro, who is at the peak of his game in this movie.
Fantastic.
He's riveting, but everybody is. You're gonna be really entertained by every performance in this thing and the sure-handedness of the filmmaking.
I was thoroughly entertained for this movie. It was hard to watch in some moments, especially in the beginning. There's some really grotesque scenes. Incredibly well done.
Well, it's like a Silence of the Lambs in a little way. You know, that's one of the movies that I was constantly referencing and thinking about.
Welcome to Juarez.
You never really hold on to any individual character. Like, you can never really attach yourself to each one. That was really interesting for me because we usually have some kind of heroine or hero that we hold on to, and we didn't really have that here. We couldn't really with this one, which is really interesting. I really appreciate the work here.
Yeah, it's an amazing movie. You definitely have to see it, but be prepared to be grossed out a little bit. What are you going to give Sicario?
I think it's an 8.5.
It gets a 9 from me.
Don't go anywhere because coming up next, we've got the Twitter question of the day.
If you want more EP, go to our website, epn.tv, for bonus content and full episodes. We're also on Facebook and Twitter.
welcome back to EP Daily. It is time for our Twitter question of the day. This one's from Nick Steinberg, at Nick_Steinberg. How do you guys fit gaming in with all of your other life responsibilities? You all seem so busy to play so many games.
Well,
that's
you're
a good
dad,
question.
so that's really tough.
How do we do it?
I don't even know. Honestly, I do not know how to answer that question with conviction.
We just, we don't stop playing and checking things out and watching stuff, you know? I mean, like when we're not shooting, when we're not shooting, we are generally on our way to an event to cover stuff, or we're off to a screening, or we're running home to unwrap a game and plug it into our system and play that.
Yeah, there are a lot of responsibilities that come with a daily show and providing all the content for a daily show. So it's not a 9 to 5 thing. That's all. I mean, that's the best way to describe it. It's just whenever you have a moment when you're not eating. You can game when you're in the toilet, though. Like, that does help.
That does happen, too. When my daughter goes to sleep, I'm often gaming or watching a show. And thankfully, we have awesome teams in other cities like Stephen Raju in Toronto, and Sophia and Ben and Jose in San Francisco.
There are some other dads in that mix as well.
And they all help, and we do the best that we can to keep up with all this stuff. A good question. If you've got one for us or you want to get caught up on the show, go to epn.tv.
We've got more coming for in the next episode of EP Daily, including a behind-the-scenes look at a new movie called The Walk.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
EP would like to thank its sponsors, Nintendo, Xbox. EP's mobile coverage is brought to you by Gameloft, makers of Asphalt 8 Airborne, which you can play on your Android or iOS device for free right now.
Of course, I automatically look across to the opposite tower, but then I have to dare to look down.